Okay, so I think we need to go to Gernot Rohr now and bring him to join us on the show so that the question that you're making me answer now, I'll get him to answer. Hello, Coach. Good morning and welcome to the show.
Good morning to everybody. Hello.
Okay, so it's fine. Emmanuel Sebastian is here with me in the studio, and he's the guy who is in charge of reporting on every Nigerian player across the globe. And he's been grilling me on questions, expectations, are we going to win the Nations Cup and all that. But before we go into asking you questions, as well as Emmanuel, say good morning to Gernot Rohr.
Good morning, Coach.
Good morning.
All right, so before we go into all of that, Coach, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you very much. I'm fine. I'm preparing my comeback to Nigeria because I will come very soon now to prepare our game, World Cup qualifiers. And also we are finishing our list. You know, it's not easy to do a list, especially in pandemic time. We have a big problem with our players from UK because coming back from Cape Verde, which is a red zone for UK, we have to do quarantine. And the clubs now are telling us we cannot give you the players because when they come back to UK, we cannot use them for 10 days. They have to go to quarantine. So we are fighting actually with FIFA and with English Football Association to have the players. So it's a very big problem. We are in this stress actually to fight to have. We have 8 players from our list actually who are playing in UK, in England or in Scotland. So it's not easy to do our job in the moment.
Okay, so Coach, you talk about this list. I really don't even know what the list is. Before I let Emmanuel ask you a question, Coach, can we get an idea of what is on your list?
Of course, we did already a provisional list of 31 players. And now we will reduce to 23. The problem is what I'm telling you, that we are not sure to have our English players or Scottish players for the second game. Because the first game, it's okay. We will have Liberia in Lagos. They can come back to England without quarantine. For the second game, it's a big problem. So I have to do another list for the second game. That is why actually we are discussing today, yesterday, this morning, again this afternoon with the president, with the team manager, and with my assistant, Mr. Tunde, which is in England actually, to have our players, you know. So we will have a list of 23 like always, but actually on the 23 we have 8 players from UK, which are not sure to be there to go to Cape Verde. That's why I cannot give the list already now.
All right, Coach. It seems like I am going to go get my size of boot. It's a size 8. I've been to Cape Verde before, so I might have to go and play for the Super Eagles. It's national duty. I will come and rescue my friend Gernot Rohr. I can play as an outside right and help you to get the goals because right now we are in a national emergency. What do you think?
Yeah. We need good players. We don't need players for fun or for holiday or for beach football. We need. It's not beach soccer. It's a very, very important match in Cape Verde on a synthetic pitch, which is already special for our players. They never play on synthetic pitch, never in the clubs. Sometimes in Africa, we played in Seychelles on a synthetic ground. But in Cape Verde will be another one. So this is also a problem. We have to adapt to this.
So talking about synthetic pitch, Coach,
yeah,
the entire 90% of the Nigerian league is played on synthetic pitch. Would it not be an advantage for you to take some of those players that we took to go play against Mexico in the US to play this game? I mean, some of them home-based players, they are used to playing in synthetic pitches. They have played competitive season. Might be very, very good opportunity for you to call on those players right now.
Do you want to play with players who don't have competition since 2 months?
I don't know. Is the league been over for 2 months now? It's not.
No, it's not 2 months.
It's not up to 2 months, Coach.
It will be 2 months in 3 weeks when we will play in Cape Verde. So it's already 1 month. So they are not doing anything. They don't have training. They don't have matches. They are in the break. You cannot come even if it's only 1 month. They are doing anything since 1 month. Do you want to take this place? Do you believe that they are better than the players who are playing in Europe?
No, I do not believe that. I do not believe. But right now you have an emergency where
please
Europe.
Stop with these kind of questions now, because all the time is coming the same question. Why you don't take the local players? They are not good enough. You saw it what happened in Los Angeles against Mexico. You saw what is actually the difference between the high level, which was Mexico and which we have in Europe also, and the level in some African countries in the league. The difference is too high. They cannot. And if we take 1 or 2, like we did with Iwala, and they sign immediately then in Europe or in Northern Africa, like he did now in Espérance de Tunis, a very good club. And there are no more local players. I had already 25 local players. Immediately after that, they go to Europe. There is perhaps a pressure from some agents, from some colleagues of you also, who are friends with agents, to put in our list local players to bring them to Europe to make business.
No, don't do that. You don't have to do that. You don't have to do that. Okay, so let's.
I think so.
Okay, Emmanuel Sebastian is here, and I think he's got some questions to ask. Emmanuel Sebastian, the microphone is in your hands right now.
All right, coach. So before we talk about the AFCON, the World Cup qualifiers is in front of us. And first off, the team is returning to Lagos. You were in Lagos the last time. And what's your assessment of coming back to Lagos to play a home game for the Super Eagles? And do you prefer what's your preference? Do you prefer we have Lagos as the permanent base now for the Super Eagles, or do you want it to you play Lagos, next one goes to another venue? So what's your take in all of this? We're coming back to Lagos. What's your general assessment of Lagos, and is that your preference?
We are happy to play in Lagos. There are only 2 things who must be better. The first thing is for the traffic. We cannot spend 1.5 hours from the hotel to go to the Balogun Stadium. It is too long. We need a better escort. We need a better organization. When the roads are full, we cannot come through. This is one problem. The other problem is infrastructures. They had a good work on the pitch, but the pitch is not yet on a highest international level. Our players are used to play on very good grass. It's still not the case. So they are working a lot. We are very happy about it. There is progress, but it's still not the best. They should play in the best infrastructures like they have in other countries. I'm coming from Cameroon. I saw the pitches there everywhere, in Yaoundé, in Douala, in Guara, where we will play. Fantastic grass, like in England. They have the same earth, they have the same climate. Why we cannot do that in Nigeria? So we have only Uyo, which is actually the best one. I hope there will be Abuja. They're working on it, and I think it could be good when it's finished. It's not yet finished, but Lagos have still to improve. They're working a lot. I hope. I didn't see it in the last weeks, but my assistants were there. They have to do better grass for us. So we need the best conditions to play our best football.
Yeah, coach, you said you were in Cameroon, and I was going to go there. We have a draw. Earlier, before you came on, before you joined us, I was already explaining that the last 2 times that Nigeria was in the same group with Egypt, one out of those 2 teams went on to win the Nations Cup. In '94, Nigeria was in the same group with Egypt. We won the Nations Cup in Tunisia. In 2010, Nigeria was in the same group with Egypt. Egypt went on to win the Nations Cup against Cameroon in the finals. Now, I'm asking you this. Looking at this group that you find yourself, and it seems like this Nations Cup, all of the big teams of Africa have qualified. So there's absolutely no pushover. The first-rate teams are all in the Nations Cup. The second-rate team are also raring to cause an upset. What is a realistic target for you going into the Nations Cup?
So at first, I want to tell you, Matthew, that not all the best teams from Africa are qualified. South Africa is, for me, one of the best teams. They are not qualified. We have also Congo Democratic Republic. They are not qualified. It's all these big players. And yes, I think that you have countries who are, of course, most of them are there. Will be a very big fight to go until the final already. Will be very difficult already to go in the semi-final. We have to go out of the group. There's Egypt, there's Sudan, there's Guinea-Bissau, with Nigeria. We should finish at least in the two first places. So I think this should be possible. And then on one match, in the round of 16, and then on the quarterfinal, everything is possible. Each team has to be on the top of his fitness when you come to these matches. What we have will be wonderful conditions. We will be in Guara, that is a wonderful hotel, wonderful stadium. There is a Cotton Sports Club from Cameroon champion. It's there. I think we can do a little friendly against them before starting the competition. And we will have good condition in this place. The training pitch is wonderful. The stadium is really great, brand new. And also the climate is not too hot in January. So, but all these things will come, the AFCON will come. The most important for us actually is to prepare very well the World Cup qualifiers, because it's already here. We are already there. In 10 days will be the match.
Yes, it is.
So this is our preoccupation for the moment.
Coach, there is this snag about the distraction of your salaries. We've had to talk about this. I've tried to stay quiet on it for a while, but Coach, I can't keep quiet about it anymore. We want you to win the World Cup. We want you to win the Nations Cup. But everybody knows that if you have a donkey that you are riding across the hot desert, you must give the donkey water. So as much as we want Gernot Rohr to win us the Nations Cup, win the World Cup, produce the best players, this donkey is not getting the water. How can the donkey cross the hot desert without getting the water? Coach, what's the state of your salary?
I don't speak about my salary. I never did it, and I will not start now. Your question, of course, I can understand that you can ask this question, but you must understand that my job is not to speak about salaries. What I want that the players are treated with respect. That is the first thing. Then also the staff, and we are respected. And I think with this pandemic situation, everything was difficult for the NFF, for all other countries. You see, even in Europe now, the transfers, everything is becoming more and more difficult. We have to be patient, and I am patient. I trust in Mr. Pinnick and in his team. I trust in my colleagues. I trust in my players, and that's one day that will come. We do our job as best as possible. Fortunately, I'm not waiting every month because I had a long career. I'm already an old man and I have a little bit money on the side, so I can eat, I can drink. There's no immediately a problem for me, and I think everything will be fine. They will do it, they are working on it, and there is also the problem that they, you know, sometimes there must be help from the government. There is this solidarity who should be there between the sport ministry and the football federation. And if we don't have this solidarity, it will be very difficult, because everybody is feeling that there is a problem between them, and the players can find an alibi not to be on the best level, you know. That's what I want to avoid. I would like to see the solidarity between sport ministry and NFF. In each other countries who is succeeding, you have this solidarity, and we need it also.
Okay, so coach, one of the biggest fear that I've had coming from a footballer, and I'm a former coach myself, not to your level, but I always say that a team that is not balanced is hard to win any championship. In your team, in Super Eagles, you have a lot of strikers, a lot of them. And I'm sure that is giving you a headache. There's Kelechi Iheanacho, there's Paul Onuachu, there's Simi Wankwo, there's Teref Murphy, there is
Umar Sadiq.
Umar Sadiq, there is Victor Osimhen, and extra other players. But then in midfield, when we come to midfield, we are handicapped. All of a sudden, we have only Wilfred Ndidi, and then the others are not really natural midfielders. Ogana Karetebo is not a natural midfielder. We saw over the weekend he played as a defensive midfielder for Watford. It was just neither here nor there. He's a great player, yet no doubt about it. Alex Iwobi also have the burden of carrying his cousins, his uncle's name on his shoulder. Okocha, he wants to be like Okocha today, he wants to be Alex Iwobi tomorrow. It's not a natural midfielder as well. And then you have the other guy, Joe Aribo, who on his first game in Ukraine was fantastic, but he's not shown that consistency. And then in defense, we've not had consistency at left fullback and right fullback. Even at centre back, you have only three clear-cut players. Kenneth Omeru, Leon Balogun, and Trust Ekong. And two of them, or three of them, are prone to injuries. How does it makes you feel when you look at the imbalance in your team? You kind of like come across to me like Mikel Arteta of Arsenal.
Yeah, you don't forget that in the central defense, we have also players like Akpoguma, who scored a wonderful goal with Hoffenheim this weekend, playing against Union Berlin. It's a very important player. We have four good center backs, so it's not so difficult, you know. Then we have also in the midfield, you forgot one player, Onyeka. It's a very good player, going to England, playing
Brentford.
the first matches very well with his club. Onyeka is a very good number 6. We have still Ndidi. It's not bad. We have still Aribo. We have still Etebo. So we have 4 players for 2 positions. It is not so bad. I think we can get the balanced team. We have our fullbacks. We have 3 left backs now. 3 left back very often is the problem. We have Collins playing very well with Paderborn, scoring goals, everything. We have Sanusi, he's now in transfer from Porto to another club. So actually, perhaps he's not playing with Porto, but he's a very good player. Sanusi, young, quick, can be offensive, defensively very good. And we have Calvin Bassey, who is playing in Glasgow Rangers. It's another one, a new one, who could help us. On the right back situation, we have Ola Aina, who's doing very well. We have Tyrone. We have always Sheu, who's playing all the games with his team in Nicosia in Cyprus. We have 3 on the right. We have 3 on the left. We have 4 in the center. It's not so bad. When there are no injuries, we are okay. What I want to have is the harmony between everybody, the complicity. And now it's true that the new players who are coming, if, for example, Basses is coming, or if, for example, we invite Onyeka, who didn't play so much with us, they will have little problems to adapt to our team, to adapt to our tactic, and to be in a big complicity with the players, but that will come with the time. But we have the players now, and we must find together to be a real strong team.
Okay, so there is also the issue of goalkeeping. And now this is going to sound, for the record, Nigeria have won the Nations Cup 3 times. Every time Nigeria won the Nations Cup, we've had goalkeepers that the minimum years they've spent in the national team was 10 years. In 1980, when we won the Nations Cup, Okala had spent about 10 years with the national team. 1994, when we won the Nations Cup, Peter Rufa had spent about 10 years with the national team. When we won the Nations Cup in 2013, Vincent Nyama had won the African Nations Cup, won the league in Nigeria, played in Europe, had spent 11 years with the national team. You have a schoolboy as your current goalkeeper, in Maduka Okoye, fantastic goalkeeper, but sometimes prone to error because lack of experience. And then you have Akpeyi Daniel, who was in the last Nations Cup up until the semi-finals, was the best goalkeeper at the tournament, and then things fell apart. What are you looking at when you look at your goalkeeper? Do you feel very confident or you feel worried?
When I arrived, it was a big problem because Enyama stopped his career, his international career, and Kali Keme was sick, like you know. He did 2 or 3 games with me, and then he was out, unfortunately. But today is very well. I can give this good news that today the sickness is finished, but he had to stop the football. We are very happy about it, that he can be with his family. And I'm asking to NFF to give him a chance to help for the goalkeepers, scouting for the training of the goalkeepers, to give him the possibility to have a good reconversion in the football, and why not in NFF? That would be very good. We don't let fall any player like him who did so well for us. Then we didn't have number 1 goalkeeper. We found Zenva, who did very well for the Cameroon games. And then we had a big problem because we needed more and better goalkeepers. And we found Uzoho. Uzoho did a good World Cup, 18 years old. And now Uzoho is playing again after his big injury against Brazil. You remember, he had a big injury on the knee. He had to stop for 10 months, close to 1 year, and now he's back. And he's doing well in his club. We found, and this is, I think, a wonderful thing for the future, a young goalkeeper in Germany. He played in Düsseldorf, now he's in Sparta Rotterdam. And this Maduka is for the future, I think he's only 21 years old, is for the future a good solution for Nigeria. And we have still the experience of Akpeyi, who is doing well in South Africa in his club. And we have John Noble, is a good one from the local league. I invited him. Unfortunately, he was injured for the game in Mexico. He couldn't play. But I think we have now, with Zenva, 5 goalkeepers, 2 local ones, and 3 from abroad, who are doing a good job. So I think we shouldn't have any problem on this position now.
Okay, so we're also going to give the fans that are listening to the show a few opportunity to throw in a few questions to you, Coach. I know that your time is very short, but let's hear from the fans as well. Emmanuel Sebastian, you got some questions on your end.
Yeah, Coach. So you've mentioned some couple of players, and maybe we might want to believe these players will be in the list that will be released soon. You know, you've touched a lot on the defense, the fullbacks we had, the defenders we had, and you know, let's talk about the players of Nigerian descent in diaspora. You know, there's been talk that a couple of players, we are awaiting FIFA clearance for them to declare their allegiance to play for the Super Eagles. Can you tell us a bit more on that? What stage are we on now on that? You know, how close are we to getting these players to represent the Super Eagles in the future in subsequent games?
So you are speaking about the local players. Like I told you already, the level of the local league.
No, that's not what he's talking about. He's talking about foreign players that have not chosen to play for Nigeria.
Yeah, there are talks that they are waiting FIFA clearance to be able to play.
Name some of these.
Some of these players like Ovie Ejaira, Ademola Lookman. A lot of Nigerian players. The last time the list was released, Michael Olise was on the standby, but ever since we don't know what happened with that. We don't know what the situation is. So tell us, where are we at regarding those players?
Okay, I understand. Now the problem is there is no time now to test some players and to make new things. Now we have the competition. We are playing for the World Cup. We want to go there. We want to be there in Qatar. And now it's not the moment to try this one or this one or this one. If somebody of these players you speak about wants to come, he has to tell us. We are asking to them already. If they don't want to come, we are not running after them. We have our players, we know them. It's not the moment to make tests or experiences. Now it's the moment to be efficient and to win the games, to make results, and not to test this one or this one. No, there are so many things who I see in the media or the fans who are asking for this one or this one. There are hundreds of players, Nigerian players in the world. We have actually the best one. We know them. Our team grew together since 5 years. It's not the moment now to change everything.
All right, Coach, last 2 weeks, you were 5 years in Nigeria. I forgot to congratulate you. I told you that when you come to Nigeria, I'm going to get you a cake to celebrate that. I'm still hanging on that. But then there's a question from a fan. He's a sports-loving comedian, one of the best comedians in Africa. He was the former boyfriend of Serena Williams, the tennis player. Okay, so he said, good morning, Edafe. Nice job you're doing. He has 2 questions, or 3, I don't know. 1, please, what is Gernot Rohr doing regarding clubs releasing their players for international duties because of this quarantine issue upon their return? I think that's the job of the NFF anyway. Some top European clubs have been saying they won't release their players due to this. What is our coach and FA doing regarding this? 2, when are we finally going to know our first 11 like we had in... I think this is a comic question anyway.
Yeah, so no, it's not so comic to fight for the players who have to go to quarantine when they go back to UK. It is very serious, unfortunately. This is a big problem. We are fighting for them. We are speaking with them. We are speaking with the UK federations, Scottish and English. We are speaking with FIFA. They are speaking with UEFA. The same situation was already for European Championship this year. But there was an exception for these players. No quarantine for the players who had to go to countries, for the English or British players coming back, no quarantine. There was an exception. We want to have the same thing. We want it to be treated the same way. They are professionals. They are not playing in European teams, that's true. But they are playing in Africa. There's no reason that they don't have the same rights like the other one. And then when we will have the best team, the number 1 team, it is changing all the time. It's depending what they are doing in the clubs. If they are doing very well in the clubs, they will play with us. If they are not good in the clubs, I cannot take them. So it's all the time a little bit different. We have to adapt what's happening in the clubs and to the actual fitness of our players.
Okay. Emmanuel Sebastian, you've got a question there.
All right, coach. So there's been a lot of talk that what's your playing style? What's Gernot Rohr's coaching style? You know, a lot of Nigerians have come out to say there's no tactics with the team doesn't play, you know, there's no tactical formation for the team. So I'm putting it to you now. Let's hear from you. What is Gernot Rohr's style of coaching? What is your tactics in terms of coaching the national team and your coaching style in general?
I think you see now since 5 years what we are doing. And you can watch yourself. Since 5 years now, we are doing the same job. We are building a team we try to build a team with a good defense, stability, with good foundations. It is number 1. It's starting with the goalkeeper, with the defense, with the defensive midfielders, with offensive, with everybody has, when we don't have the ball, to fight, to get the ball and to defend well. Then the second thing, when we have the ball, we want to go quickly to the goal and to score our goals. We have one of the best attacks not only in the qualifiers for the AFCON, but already in the last AFCON, we have all the time the best goal scorers. It was Igalo before, it was Osimhen in the last games. So there is some reasons that we like to play offensive football. It's true that sometimes we score goals, but we also concede. That is because we have a young team, and if they lead 2-0 in halftime, or 3-0 or 4-1, they believe it's done already. We have to progress in these situations, to be stronger mentally, to stay humble, and not to believe when you lead in the score, the match is already in the pocket. No, we must be more serious in these things. But our style, I like to see playing my team a good football like we did in so many games, even in the World Cup, even in the AFCON, even if we didn't win, but it were good things to see, and they are all young. They are all young, which means that there is still a possibility to progress and to do better. That's what we want to see that now in the World Cup qualifiers.
All right, Coach, I know that we've taken a whole lot of your time, and I sit here and I say to myself, we do have a team that have the capacity or the capability of winning the African Nations Cup. But I also know from a football perspective that the goal is to get out of the group and take every other game at a time. Are you under any pressure from the federation or the sports minister that if you don't win the Nations Cup, your job is done?
You know that I accepted when I'm coming to Nigeria that the job is done if we don't go to the World Cup. It was even in my contract.
Wow.
So we went to the World Cup. Then I accepted that the job is done if we don't go to the AFCON. We went to the AFCON. It was 2 times the same. So if we don't do well in the next AFCON, my job is done also. I accepted again in my contract these conditions. Not a problem. You can stay only in a country if you have good results. If the results are not good, if the team doesn't have any future, you have to go. This is normal. So I accept, even other coaches don't accept. I accept it because I think it's normal that you cannot stay when the results are not good.
Wow. Thank you very much. And Coach, you've had a legion of players play for you. Some have come and go. If you have a choice, looking at the history of Nigerian football and the players that have played past or present, if there are 5 players you can magically bring back to the Super Eagles, who are those players?
It's fun to have the fantastic players. First of them would be, of course, JJ Okocha.
Wow.
It was such a fantastic player. He played in Germany, he played in France. I saw him. I could meet him. It's such a fantastic player. This would be the first one. Inyama was a fantastic goalkeeper also. Unfortunately, I never could work with him. I met him, I saw him. It was an opponent, but we could not work together. Then, of course, I regret also players like Obi Mikel, to be not so long away. Kanu, fantastic players, wonderful. Victor Ikpeba, this one, I like him so much.
The Prince of Monaco.
And it's a collect to you, eh? It's a collect to you. And but it was a wonderful player, the Prince of Monaco. And then also not go so far back, I would really like to see again Igalo, because Igalo has a personality, intelligence, and could help our young strikers, Osimhen, Chukwueze, Kalu, or the other one. Mofi perhaps coming now also, and Onuachu, could help them, on the pitch and out of the pitch. So there are so many players in Nigeria from the past, and but this one, perhaps Igalo, perhaps if he's really motivated, he will be welcome to come back with us. The other one is too old now. Our career is finished since a long time, but in the history, they did so well that Nigeria can be proud of all these players.
Okay, so you just mentioned one of the active players, Samuel Chukwueze, and I worry for Samuel Chukwueze because he plays in the same position that I played when I was playing football. So I always look at that position with some critical views. In the last 2 seasons, he's had 7 goals and just 4 assists. The job of a wide player or a winger, is first and foremost to create goals. And then if you score goals, no problem. For 2 seasons to have only 4 assists is a little bit, for me, is a letdown for a player with such speed and such skills. When you sit with Samuel Chukwueze, what are the things that you think you can improve in his game?
This is a wonderful player. Samuel is an artist. He is able to do everything with his left foot, coming from the right side. That's why he's scoring a lot of goals, because he's coming in on his strong feet and he can really make the difference. And then what he can improve is, of course, he's a young player, is to be stronger mentally, also to be concentrated all the time. But this will come with the experience. This will come naturally with the time. And what he can learn is also, I think, from other players like Igalo, like he did already in the last AFCON. He was all the time watching how is working Igalo, preparing his training sessions, recovery, all these things. Unfortunately, actually, Chukwueze is still not ready. We cannot have him for the World Cup qualifiers. It is a big regret, because we like him so much, like a player, like a human being, all the time positive mind. And he's bringing joy, he's bringing rhythm, he's bringing inspiration in our game. And I hope we will not miss it too much. But this is a fantastic player. He'll have a big future. He's now, I think, Real Madrid and other teams from the Premier League are watching him and are trying to get him. The first thing now is he must be fit again. And I hope in 3 or 4 weeks he will replay, and we will have him for our games against Central Africa in October.
Another thing I noticed with your team is the crosses coming from wide. Now, your team plays very well, building up from defense and midfield. But then the crosses from wide. Now, I was taught that when you want to cross a ball, lift your head up, know where the player is, first pole, last pole, and middle of the post. And then you take a decision where you want to put the ball. Make it difficult for the goalkeeper to save, but also make it difficult for the defenders to defend against. But most times we cross the ball, whether it's coming from Simon or coming from Samuel Moses or even Terry Murphy, as we saw in the game that he played, always across the whole of the 18-yard box. What can we do to solve that problem? It's not just enough to kick the ball, but you need to kick the ball with precision. That's what I was told by my coaches when I was coming up. Kicking the ball, anybody can do that. But kicking with precision is what makes you a professional. How can we deal with that so that we can convert our crosses into goals easily?
Yeah, you know, when we have our players, we have 2 or 3 days, and sometimes only 1, like in Benin City, when the players arrived only the day before. And when there was one last training session where we had also the visit of the sport minister. And then you have to concentrate on the game. And so when you have 2 or 3 days, sometimes only 1 to prepare a game, it is difficult to go to the details, technical details. The most important is the tactical organization. And then we speak about the technical details, like you speak now about the crosses. Most important thing in the crosses is, of course, the precision of the crosses. But the precision is easier when you have at least 2 or 3 players in the box. When there's only 1 player in the box, it's difficult to find him. You have 2 or 3 or 4. Yes, so I would like to see each cross arriving on a partner. But the other one are also there. So, you know, the defenses, they know, they anticipate, and they see that a cross will come. One is going on the first post, the other one is going man to man, and another one is going on the second post. They have also organized. It's not easy. From 10 crosses, I think in the statistics, you have 2 arriving on your partner from 10 in the statistics. So what we want is to have 3, 4, or 5 that 50% of the crosses are arriving, because we are playing all the time with wingers, like you know.
Yes.
We have so good wingers, right and left. We have Simon, we have Kalu, we have Chukwueze, we have Henry, we have Ahmed Musa, everybody. So he's able to do that. But it's a harmony, it's the moving, it's the crossing, the running from our strikers that we need time to work. We have the time only when we go to the big tournaments, which is AFCON, so we have 10 days or 12 days preparation, or World Cup even more. Then it's good for progressing. But now the players will arrive on Monday, or first training on Tuesday, second training on Wednesday, and Thursday is already the day before the match. You only have 1 hour to do little things. And so this is very short. That's why we need players who have already the complicity and to know themselves very well. And we can be immediately a team and not try to build something in the last moment.
All right, thank you very much, Coach. You've really given us a lot of your time. I think Emmanuel Sebastian have another question coming up.
All right, so Coach, we're talking about our options from the wing. I mean, Samuel Kalu, we thankfully he's back in action. He played a few minutes for his club side this past weekend. We saw what happened the previous week when the unfortunate incident happened on the pitch of play for Samuel Kalu. But now Chukwueze won't be ready, like you said. Chidera Ejuke is another player. He's been called up to the squad before, and ever since he haven't gotten a look in. Is he the player you are definitely keeping tabs on, because a lot of Nigerian fans want to see him, play for the Super Eagles? So is he one player you are keeping tabs on? And another player is a goalkeeper. Actually, he plays in Israel. He won the best goalkeeper in the Israeli second division. His name is Adebayo Adeleye, and they are in the first team in Israel now. So is he a goalkeeper you and your goalkeeping coach have looked at, in the past, and is one for the future? So what do you make of these two players, Chidera Ejuke and Adeleye?
So guys, when you are asking everybody about your favorite players, which is there in this country or here or there, and this, so we will not stop our discussion. We don't have the time to speak about everybody.
True.
There is 1 or 2 players who can be interesting. He's also in my list of 30. This is Ejuke. He's doing well now in Moscow, in his club. It's a big concurrence, there's a big competition on these positions of the wingers. We have so many, and it's not easy to find a way to come in, but we will see. We have also other players who, like Chukwueze, who are injured, who are not here, so the way is a little bit easier perhaps to come back. But we have also the possibility with Iwobi coming from the left or from the right, like he's doing in Everton, to be a winger coming in and to open the side for a fullback who's coming. So all is depending from the tactics we employ. When we try to play 4-2-3-1, for example, or 4-3-3, we want to have the real wingers who are crossing, dribbling, who are coming through, coming in, scoring goals, playing 1-2, playing quickly. But we have also the possibility to play with 2 strikers and with 2 fullbacks coming like wingers. So everything is depending on the tactics of the organization, also a little bit of the opponents we have to play again. And sometimes even it's depending if you play on the synthetic pitch. It's not the same football like on natural grass. So all these things we must think of it before we do our team. But it's good to have all these wingers. It's very good. Goalkeepers, we have enough. We have already 5. I give you the 5 names. If you want the 6th one, you can add yours. And it's not a problem. We will watch him. Aloy Agu is there. He's in Lagos. He's knowing everybody. He's watching all the goalkeepers. And the other staff with Mr. Tunde, with Mr. Nabil, our scouting chief, our analyzers. We are seeing everything what's happening with Nigerian players. So you can trust them that we have all the time the best observations, and we try to find the best players for the best team for Nigeria.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Gernot Rohr, for your time. We look forward to seeing you in Lagos as we prepare for the national team. Time up. We've really done extremely well. I appreciate you always listening to us and giving us your time. God bless you, and we hope that you win. And we also hope that the English FA and the English government will allow the 8 players in the UK to come play for us. Thank you very much, and we appreciate it.
Thank you, Matthew. See you soon.
All right, see ya.
You are listening to Elegbete TV Radio.